stocks that are seeing buying action. Auto stocks once again are topping the charts this morning. So you have, some of these names doing pretty well. Eicher Motors continues to move forward. A lot of consumption names, Britannia. You have banks, Axis Bank, Kotak Mahindra Bank. In fact, the Bank Nifty is in the green right now. But Coal India is a stock on our radar. In fact, that stock has hit a fresh 52-week high. It's seen an up move of 17% in the last 1 month. Coal demand has definitely gone up. You can see it in the numbers as well. If you look at it in million tons, the offtake for Coal India in the month of August 2021 was about 48.6 million tons compared to 40.5 in August of 2019 and 44 in August of 2020. So definitely demand has gone up. To discuss the way forward, we have Pramod Agarwal, the Chairman and Managing Director of Coal India, who's with us. Mr. Agarwal, good morning and thank you so much for joining us. I want to talk a little bit about price hikes, etc. But first, if you could just tell us about what the demand situation is and what could the sales targets be for FY22 compared to what we've seen in FY21?
Good morning. See, the demand is quite huge. The international coal that was coming to the country, the imported coal, has almost come down substantially. Power plants which were operating on imported coal has stopped production, almost stopped production. So the demand of the domestic coal is very high. And I feel that this demand is likely to continue in the coming 4, 5 months or 6 months. And in that scenario, we are committed to meet the demand of the country. And we have been given a target of 740 million ton of dispatch this year. But I feel that some realistic thing will be somewhere near 710 to 730 million ton that we are likely to achieve this year.
Okay, so those are going to be your dispatch targets. Got that, Mr. Agarwal. Now let's talk about pricing, because we know pricing is on the upswing. So if you could give us a sense of both the segments. First of all, tell us what is the kind of increase that we're seeing in the e-auction premiums. And then there's a lot of talk about whether you will be reworking the, the fuel supply agreements as well, and whether FSA prices would be higher. So if you could tell us about both the segments.
See, already e-auction prices are quite high. We are getting e-auction prices in the range of 40 to 50% in certain segments, and it's likely to continue in that way or may increase in coming months because of increase in the demand. On FSA side, we must understand that it cannot be unilaterally increased by Coal India. Coal India is facing certain cost increases because of the wage increase that is likely to happen this year. Secondly, the cost of explosives, cost of diesel, etc. have increased. So the price has to increase, and we are working on that. We are getting all the stakeholders on board. Once that is done, we are committed to increase the price.
But can you just give us a sense on the FSA side, given the cost escalations you spoke of, what is the negotiation? I mean, 5%, 10%, what's the sort of increase that you would hope to at least push forward?
It will be very difficult for me to suggest any figure, but we have not increased price for last 4 years. The last price increase took place in January 2018. So it is almost 4 years, and by this time, the WPI has increased by 20%. CPI has also increased in the range of 16-17%. So I hope that we should be adequately compensated for that. If not, the complete thing, but whatever increase has happened in our place, that should be compensated. So at least I'm looking at something in the range of 10%.
Okay, in the range of 10%, got that. Just coming back to the demand supply situation, you said the demand for domestic coal is very high, but are we staring at a big coal shortage in the country? I mean, there are reports indicating that most of India's coal plants are running, very low on stockpiles, and this may, also perhaps the country may be at risk of some blackouts as well. What is the situation on the ground currently?
See, there is no likelihood of any blackout. There may be some shortage in 1 or 2 plants here and there, but we are committed to meet the demand and we will do so. Actually, there was many factors which have happened. There are many things that have happened in the last 6-7 months which have contributed to that. I can identify 4 factors. Even if one factor would not have been there, perhaps this shortage would not have taken place. First thing is, the stocks at the power plants were slightly low at 31st of March. Second thing is, the rainfall pattern has been quite adverse to the coal production. Rainfall has taken place mostly in the eastern area of the country, whereas the rainfall was not adequate during July and August in western part of the country, which led to the huge demand increase in August. If you see the demand increase in August, it was in the range of 25 to 25%, which never happens. Then the third thing, the coal prices in the international market has increased tremendously. Because of that, the imported coal has completely stopped. If we see the impact, it will be in the range of 10 to 12 million ton, which imported plant based on imported coal would have generated the energy. The fourth thing is the COVID. In April, May, and June, when we ramp up our production and ramp up our dispatch, generally the situation means we actually do some extra stocking in the power plants. But this year we didn't get that opportunity because in our area of operation, the COVID was very significant, very strong. So in that situation, all these factors have contributed. Even if one factor would not have been there, perhaps this shortage would not have been there.
Sure, got that. All right, thank you for that clarification because there were a lot of reports doing the rounds about this severe shortage. I wanted to come back to the business performance itself. I mean, you spoke about how you could see higher dispatches in the near term. The other thing that the street would like to know is whether there is any normalization in terms of receivables for Coal India, because, you know, the trade receivables as of FY21 had risen almost to about 20,000 crores. How is the situation right now, and any numbers that you can share with us?
See, we have reduced that number significantly. Okay. At the end of first quarter, the number was about 16,000 crore rupees. Now I am told that it is in the range of 13,000 crore rupees. Once the audited figures are there, we will be able to tell you the exact figure. But I am told that the receivables, net receivables, is in the range of 13,000 crore rupees. So in the last quarter, means this July, August, September quarter, we have reduced this receivables by about 4,000 to 5,000 crore rupees.
Mr. Agrawal, I now have a more basic question on the utilization of cash. Nigel tells us that at last count FY21 figures, you had over 17,000 crores, almost 17,300 crores of cash in the books. For this year, first of all, what's the sort of dividend payout ratio that you're looking at? And the bigger, more important question is the onslaught of renewables. How is Coal India looking to keep itself relevant at a time when ESG concerns are very big? When there's not a single new coal capacity thermal power plant coming up in the country, we know the whole shift towards clean power. So give us sort of a broader outlook here for the company.
See, coming to the cash balance sheet, our cash would have increased from 17,000 crore rupees to 25 to 30,000 crore rupees by now. So the balance sheet is quite strong. We have got a lot of cash. Coming to the dividend policy, we have always been saying that our EBITDA percent will be in the range of 30%. So we will try to maintain this year also. And if that is the EBITDA percentage, I don't think there should be any concern about the dividend. Coal India in the last few years have paid quite a good dividend and will continue to do so. Coming to your second question, what was your second question?
Sir, I was talking about the money, the money you spend on perhaps the renewable side, given that that's the larger existential question over the next 5 years or so, right?
See, for next 5 years or 10 years, there is no threat to Coal India. Coal will remain a primary source of energy. Even today, coal provides about 55% of the primary commercial energy to the country. The percentage may reduce, but the demand, as we have seen in the last few months, it has increased and it is likely to increase further. So the quantum will increase, the percentage may reduce in the coming months. So if that be the situation, I don't think in the coming 1 decade or 15 years, there is any existential crisis to Coal India. But it is a given thing that in coming years, this renewables will increase its space in energy market. And maybe after 2 decades or 3 decades, coal means it is an industry where the likelihood of sunset is there. So Coal India is also planning to enter the space of renewables. We have already got some tenders to install the renewable solar power energy, and we are thinking very seriously about how to expand our portfolio in that area.
So any money that you will be putting on the table for this expansion plan, I mean, what are we looking at out of the total capex? How much would be channelized towards renewables?
See, we are looking at about 3,000 megawatt of solar energy by the end of FY24. And beyond that, it will increase further.
Okay, all right. We will leave it at that actually. We've run out of time, but thank you so much for joining us. That's Coal India. They have, of course, the big plans as we move along, but the stock is at a fresh 52-week high as well. Let's take a look at the past financials. First up, the revenues will be on your screen, and then you have the EBITDA performance. Revenues have been a bit sketchy actually in the last 3 years. EBITDA too has been on the downslide. And next up, we have the profit after tax coming through. All right, well, that's Coal India, but I think the stocks that staged a big rally yesterday were the